Morning, good morning, good morning. We are back. The show is called TBR SSF Show. It is myself, the Sober Boys, Walefatshe. TBR, TBR SSF Show. It is nothing else but the Big R Solution Sports Forum. Um, Normally, every Tuesday we do our show, Tuesday and Saturday. But today I decided that I need to go back to the topic that we once discussed. The reason why I'm going back to that topic, there is some kind of persistence on this particular topic. The topic of Maswanganye versus Jomo Sono, or either way, Jomo versus Maswanganye. All right. So I want to go back to that topic. As I say, it is persisting. And then I watched the interviews. I watched the press conference, and then so to listen and to get the story myself of really what happened there. So that is why I'm trying to do this particular subject once again, so that at the end of the day, we put some facts into perspective. All right. I'm sure you know. As much as I know, you are familiar with what is happening. And then people are saying Maswanganye should be given a number 10. He said Jomo is the one who's refusing to give out number 10. Let me start here. This thing started, this is the statement that purports to be a statement that is made by Jomo in terms of number 10. If you watch the statement, the statement purports as if Jomo said the jersey must be retired. Now, this statement talks as if he's the one who suggested that the jersey must be retired, all right? And then, fortunately enough, I listened to the interview and then I saw the event. Now, let me give what happened in terms of the story. Jomo was going to have a press conference, which was a Jomo Cosmos press conference. The press conference was to unveil the sponsorship of Lucas Batteries. Remember, Lucas Batteries was one of the batteries that were very huge in the past. But unfortunately, they experienced some hardships. So apparently to a point whereby it was sold and then it has been bought by other people. Okay. Now, Jomo was there to talk about that. He invited Pito. We know that Pito is one of the best, if not the best coach in Africa today. So he invited Pito for simple reason. Pito is one of his products. And then, so now, there was a lot of symbolism why Pito was brought. And in that particular press conference, Jomo counted more than 11 strikers, quality strikers that he produced. All right? And listen to what I'm saying. He invited Pito, one of the best coaches in Africa, regarded as the best coach as we speak. And then he is the product of Jomo Sono, Pito. He even said he's my son. All right. And then there was a bit of symbolism there. The journalists were invited to cover that story. So I don't know what happened. We, as the Big R, as I always say, the Big R is our principles. and they are all the English words that are positives that are starting with the letter R, such as responsibility, all right? Reliability, okay? I'm talking about this because I expect journalists, as people reporting the story to the society, they have to be reliable, they have to take responsibility, all right? Now, the reason why Jomo invited them together with Lucas Patrice, they wanted to tell them that, look, Cosmos is there, fourth division, Mutsipe League, and they're getting a sponsor, which is a rare phenomenon, whereby a team at that division get a sponsor from a big brand. It's a rare. That's one thing that probably was supposed to be captured by the journalists. Their job was to go and relate. And I think the guy who was there with Jomo said, we went to Cosmos because if you look at it, there was a lot of symbolism in the whole thing. Lucas battery was very big. It went under and it has been bought. It was resuscitating itself. Now, they said they wanted to capture the market of South Africa. So what was the better way of doing it? Was to look at another brand that is in similar situation as them. And that brand was associated with Jomo Sono. We know it as much as I know that Jomo is a brand on its own apart from Cosmos. Now, Cosmos has gone down. The symbolism was we as Lucas Battery, we are down, and then we are associating ourselves with another legendary brand in South Africa. And we want to rise with that legendary brand so that as Cosmos fights its way back to the Premier League, they are together in that journey. So that was the entire symbolism that was supposed to be captured. But journalists being journalists, sometimes, you know, I don't know whether you have seen on Twitter, people are talking about fake news and all that. And then hence now people seems to be relying more on Twitter because sometimes you ask yourself, well, journalists are doing what they're supposed to do, or are they carrying mandate of other people or faceless people to achieve a particular objective? Then in that particular conference, Jomo was asked about Bafana Bafana, and he was not talking about Bafana Bafana. He was not talking about Maswanganye or anything. Then he answered by saying, I don't want to talk about Bafana Bafana. Now you want to take me back to Bafana Bafana. Then he commented, he went further to ask him about the coach. He said, Hugo Bross is a good coach. He doubted Hugo Bross, but like all of us, we doubted him. But, you know, he has proven the doubting Thomases wrong. Okay? That was Jomo giving accolades to Hugo Bross. Then they went further. They asked him about Relebohile Mofokeng. Then he said, Mofokeng is a great talent that needs to be protected. And then he respect Hugo Bross. Orlando Pirates coach Rivero. He said, one game I saw the boy was struggling because the opponent was giving him tough time. Then he substituted him. He said, talent like that one needs to be protected. But he continued that he's a great talent. So that is not even captured. That is not even said. They went further. Now they ask him about the coach, Pirates coach. He then said, Rivera is a good coach. He's doing a good job. And then I think he's going to take Pirates to another level. Then they asked him about a Kaiser Chiefs. He said he's not happy about the situation that Kaiser Chiefs finds itself. He said the South African football, like any other country, they need their traditional big teams for their brand to grow. He said Chiefs is one of those. He said Chiefs is one of those. Pirates is one of those. Sundowns is one of those. The journalists themselves added and said, of course, Jomo Koson. He said, of course, Jomo Koson. He said, Jomo Koson does not belong there. Jomo Koson belong to the Premier League. So I'm just giving you what happened. So the journalists, instead of continuing with what they came there for, they were focusing on other things that is of their own. All right. Then they went further. They said, they asked him about Maswanganye. Then he even asked, what about Maswanganye? And then they said, whatever that they asked. And then he went further and say, I think he answered one or two questions around the issue of Maswanganye. But they insisted, now they talk about number 10. All right. Then he said, there's nothing I can do about number 10. Number 10 belongs to Pirates. Pirates will decide what to do with number 10. And he went further to say it was not me who retired the jersey number 10, it was Pirates. And let me tell you, guess what? I also heard Dr. Ivan Koza himself saying we are retiring jersey number 10 for the respect of Jomo Sono. So if Pirates fans or journalists, they really want Pirates to give Maswanganye the jersey number 10, they should do that. They should ask Dr. Ivan Koza to do it. I don't think Jomo had nothing to do with that. Then he went further to say, at Cosmos, I retired it because there is no player that I think is at my level. All right? And then he also spoke that days in Dulula there at Cosmos, you wanted jersey number 10. He said no. And speaking it jokingly. And if you know Jomo very well, I know Jomo, not necessarily I'm a friend to him or I'm used to him. I befriended few Cosmos people when I was young, going to the stadium, but I never befriended Jomo. But I've gone to the stadium, I've listened to him talk. He's like that. He always liked cracking jokes. And then I think, as they were insisting on Maswanganye, and then he said, what about him? I just saw one or two games. One of the games that I saw him go in the opposite direction of the goal that Pirates were supposed to score. And then he was making those moves, dance moves. And I think it was a joke, if you know Jomo very well. So I think it was blown out of proportion. All right. And then, having said that, it was Dr. Ivan Koza himself who said the jersey will be retired. Not only that, I know at some point Dr. Ivan Koza was asked, who's your best player that you have ever seen at Orlando Pirates? And remember, Dr. Ivan Koza is a peer to Dr. Kaiser Mtau. He said, no doubt, Jomo is still the best player that I've ever seen. Like I said before in my previous show, that I used to go to a stadium at Orlando Stadium. I used to stay at Dube, and then I would stay in that grandstand where we used to pay there. And then Dr. Ivan Koza was a secretary. I was very young. You could see, you could hear when he talks about Jomo that he was a real fan of Jomo. I know they were very big friends, that I know, and I know a lot of people know about that one. Now, and then I don't understand why the hullabaloo, why people are now putting words into what Jomo said. And they went further. And then I've seen an article whereby Jomo said 2 points that he can point out to show that they are not at the same level of Maswanganye. He said, I scored my first goal at the age of 15 when I was playing for Pirates. And guess what? I was already following Jomo at that time. But by that time, I was listening on radio. I started to watch Jomo live in 1980 when he was playing the Men's Day Cup final in 1980. He said Maswanganye is 28. That's 1 point. Secondly, there was 1 point where he said, and guess what? One thing for sure that people don't understand. People like Jomo, Ace Nzwele and Teenage Laja, Andres Masego, Ace Mnini, Dr. Kumalo, those players, they would be on form for the whole season. In a season, they will be off form 1 or 2 games. It was rare to see those players not on form. In most cases, those girls were on form, even in friendlies. That's how good they were. And I'm not saying in any way Maswanganye is not good. Make no mistake, Maswanganye is good. I enjoy his football. He's one of the players, who makes one to watch Pirates. But comparing him with Jomo, that's a big mistake. That's a big mistake. I think whoever journalist wanted to push his own agenda. If I'm saying that boldly so because my argument is one, the channel were supposed to cover what they were supposed to cover on that day, and that was not done. They never did justice to the invitee that they were invited for. Instead, they were focusing. If they really want, I don't know, for me, if you ask me where I'm sitting, I think they wanted Jomo to say, no, he's the next Jomo. And then I can imagine after that, there was going to be a big noise that, no, he deserved number 10, even Jomo blesses him. That's my opinion. I may be wrong here. And when I talk about Jomo, I said Pele, the man who's regarded as the greatest footballer, before this monster, which is Messi, before this monster, which is Messi, whom I think is the best, is the best. I haven't seen Pele, but I think Messi has just surpassed everybody. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion. Now, but I'm talking about Pele. Pele once said, when they asked him at some point, who's going to be your successor? He said, if there's anybody to success me, that was Jomo Sono. And Pele played with Dr. Kaiser Mtaung. Pele played with Franz Beckenbauer. Pele played with the best players, but he isolated Jomo Sono. And guess what? I've watched Jomo many games. I wouldn't lose Jomo's games as much as today. I don't like to lose any game when Messi's playing. I make it a point that I watch, no matter what. Whether it's evening or what, I watch. So I wanted to bring this perspective so that people stop comparing the incomparable. I remember this was also done from doggies, and then they were talking to doggies about Mshishi. And Mdogis answered very well by saying, look, Mshishi and myself cannot be compared. We played in different eras. Mshishi is a great player, is doing well during his era, so don't compare the two. So I don't know why. And I still say, I'm saying boldly, Maswanganye is nowhere near Jomo. All right. For me, if there was anybody who was closer to Jomo, it was Ace Nzwele. All right. And the person that I thought would surpass Jomo's level was Teenage, but unfortunately retired early. That's my opinion. All right. But, and then there were a lot of great players who entertain us, as I've already mentioned, Ace Mnini, Andres Masego, Mdogis was the last player, for my opinion, to really entertain us. Then there was Jabu Pule, who came to the picture. I think Jabu Pule, for me, he was going to be one of the players who was going to entertain us, but his career was cut short. All right. I don't want to go back there. He was cut short, and then there were other good players, Arthur Zwan and all that. But you know what? Comparing Jomo Sono and those people, it's a big mistake. So that's one thing that I wanted to share. But before I leave, I just want to remind you that remember that we are a financial company. So we continue to educate with finance. And one of those ways to educate with finance is the books. One of the books that I wrote is called How I Turned 500 Rand into a Million Rand Business. So if you want to know how did I do it, because I learned from others, you can just buy yourself a copy. You can get it from us. Not only from us, you can also get it from Amazon. It's an ebook. You can also get it as an ebook, you can get it as a hard copy from us. And then there's another book called How to Get Out of Bad Debts and Use Other People's Money and Resources to Get Rich. Because the rich, they use debt and other people's resources to get rich. That's how you make money. They don't use their money, but go and read there and find out how it's being done. And then there's another book written by a friend of mine, Dr. Darlene Small. This lady worked for Reserve Bank for 33 years as an economist for the Reserve Bank, as an advisor to the governors. She wrote this beautiful book, How to Win the Wealth Game, The Art of Money. So those are some of the books that you can get from us. Now, remember, I was supposed to talk about things that are coming this week, but I decided to cut them short and go back to this topic because I see that people are biased about this topic. And then I said, no, maybe I should chip in and give some perspective as far as this topic is concerned. Now, the other thing, remember that and Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns, Stelis, they've done well in Africa. And then I want to share the prize monies that the teams, let's see, the teams will get in this tournament, the CAF. All right, I hope you can see this one. Now, Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates now are guaranteed of 12 million after reaching the CAF Champions League group stages. All right. The winner, the team that will win this tournament, will get about 4 million US dollars, which is equivalent to 70 million rand. The runners up will get about 2 million, which is 35 million rand. Semi-finalists will get about 1.2 million, which is 21 million. Quarterfinalists will get about 16 million rand. And then third of the group will get about 12 million. The fourth of the group, 12 million. So good luck. But I don't know whether it's a question of the rich getting richer. But isn't it that they work for it? So that is why they find themselves in that situation. So that's what is happening. And then maybe Saturday, there's a gentleman, a friend of mine, Peter Stirrup, who's an English-born but now a South African. Peter Stirrup, a staunch Mamelodi, Manchester United. You will come and talk to us about what is happening in the what you call the new format of the Champions League. I'm sure you have seen that we hear that the players are now contemplating of striking. So I don't know. We'll watch the space. What's going to happen? So now I need to check what's happening. Now Saddam is not with me today, but I'll share some of his news that he normally share. Remember that the game, the MTN 8, which is going to happen in October, the 5th of October, it's a sold out affair already. This game will play at Moses Mabhida. So we are happy now. Our football is showing that it's rising again. And as I always say, people will go to the stadium if they watch good football. The next game of Kaizer Chiefs will be facing Amazulu. So that also happens at Moses Mabhida. So those are the games that are coming. So yeah, I hope Saddam was here or is looking forward to this game. Saddam, he loves his team. And then you could be telling us all sorts of stories about how good they are going to be. Now, let me share some of the what you call CAF games. Remember, we know that Orlando Pirates has qualified, and then Sundowns has qualified since we say they are going to the next round. And then now let me give you the results of those games, the CAF results. I've given you the CAF prizes. Let's see Mamelodi Sundowns CAF results. Let me share that with you quickly so that you know what's happening. Now let's see. Let's move quickly. Mamelodi Sundowns, they've added 4 again against Mbabane Swallows. This is what you do if you play teams. I don't want to undermine them, but teams that are not at your level, you really give them a hiding. So this is Mamelodi Sound. First round 4-0, and then come second round they did another 4-0. And I watched that game as much as I watched the first game. I don't know. I think Mangoba Mniti, this is my opinion. Don't kill me for that. If you have your opinion, share it and then just comment. My suspicion is Mangoba Mniti is trying to create a pool of players. He does not want to rely on a few number of players because I think he understands very well that the marathon for Mamelodi Sundowns is going to be too long because they are into too many competition. So if you see he's trying to play fresh players all the time so that he keeps them busy at all times. So we'll watch the space and see whether we are right or wrong. So they won 1-0, 4-0. And then not only that, we know that Orlando Pirates also they have qualified to group stage. They won 1-0 against Joanne. When Saddam calls them Joali, but not Joanne. But the Pirates beat Joanne as far as the qualification for the next round of the CAF game. So now, before I go there, I go to the next story. Let me share, as I say, one of the books that I wrote is called Secrets for Becoming Rich. This book comes in first edition and second edition. Of course, second edition is more improved than the first edition. So if you want the book, like I said, just drop us a WhatsApp and then we'll tell you how to access the book. So that's it. Not only that, I also have the book by Nomsa Masbugo, a friend of mine, Nomsa who hails in Emalahleni in Witbank, and then she's in the hospitality space. And then, like I said, she's got about plus minus 100, more than 100 rooms. And if I'm in that part of the world, I sleep there, a very good place to go to. So those are some of the things that I wanted to share with you. But now let's go to other news as we continue with our show. Remember, I always share the branch news. You know that I always share the branch news and share what's happening with the branches as supplied by Saddam. And I always say to people, if they supply me with the news, I will gladly share the news. If they don't share the news, I'll share those that have been shared by others. So Saddam is very consistent in sharing that look what Siabusa branch is doing, Atreville branch is doing, Reche Park is doing. If you do that, of course, I will definitely share because at the same time, some you are calling for people to come and then join you, like Chiefs is playing, and then you guys you want to be accompanied. So if you want me to share those news, I'll definitely do so. Now let me share what I have in terms of the news of the branches. Now, here is Siabuswa branch. Remember Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs, they will be playing on the 28th of September. And I can tell you, this looks like it will be a sold-out affair. This is going to be a really humdinger game. You like it or not, I'm saying, I've said it before, the grudge is no more between Pirates and Chiefs. Now the biggest grudge is between Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. So they say Abusa, they have organized, and then they say transport is 220 to join them so that you can go to the event. That's Siabuswa branch. And then there's another branch, a Toyando branch. Also, they are planning a trip to FNB for their game against Kansas Chiefs on the 28th. And as you can see there, it's 600 Rand per person. So if you want to, the numbers are there. You can call them and see what you can do. There is also Reche Park, who are not far from FNB. So they've also organized their own transport to go to this big game. As I say, this game, it looks like it's going to be a sold-out affair. Very exciting. Pirates game and Stellenbosch is sold out. And then I always argue and say, as long as they play beautiful football, people will go to the stadium. If they don't play football, the beautiful football, you don't expect people to be going to the stadium. People will go there because of football, all right? Now, Tembisa branch, they have also organized their own. No, this is Tamba Zimbi branch. They've also organized their transport to FNB on the 28th to watch Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. As I say, this looks like a sold-out affair already. So if you don't have a ticket, try to organize and try to make sure that you become part of these people. Well, it will be injustice if I don't share a Tembisa branch, which is Sadamo's branch. Tembisa branch too, they're always there, okay? Tembisa branch, they're planning now, it's for Wednesday now, for their game against Moses Mabhida, 7:30. Amazulu versus Kaizer Chiefs. So those are the news. Now, before I can leave, because I still have to share the Messi Special, which is one of the subjects that I love most. I've already shared a few things for you. Now let me go to the Messi Special so that we share what's happening. Now, let me indicate to you that as we speak, we know that Messi has won one title already with Inter Miami. He's on the verge of winning another title very soon. We are watching the space very closely. And then they were supposed to win the last 3 games, but unfortunately, the last week they played 1-1. So I think that has disturbed them a little bit because if they were going to win 3 games, and then they were guaranteed of winning the title. So that's another title on Lionel Messi's, what you call, a resume, all right, or accolades. Now, let me share some of the news. Now, as I said, you know, they say Lionel Messi's shirt with Inter Miami is the best selling or is the best seller in the world. Okay? Lionel Messi's shirt with Inter Miami is the best seller in the world. This man is making history every time. So this is the genius, Lionel Messi. And then what else do I want to share there? Let me share something quickly. As I said, because, you know, they were supposed, this one when we did, it was before they played their game on Saturday. So they needed only 3 games, then they would have won the league. Now, remember they combined what you call the league and what you call both Eastern and Western conferences. So now they are leading Inter Miami. Remember, this is a team that was on the bottom of the log. When Messi came, everything changed. So the team is one of those. Now, I want to share something about Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan Ibrahimovic said, people have been saying that he was chased by Messi. He said, no, that's not Messi. Sorry about that. That's not Messi who chased me. And then, in fact, there was an issue between Zlatan and Pep Guardiola. Okay, it's sure about that. Wow, 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 wow. There was an accident in my studio here. My light had to fall off. So I had to stand up and sort it out. Sorry about that, as I was just explaining. Uh, as I was explaining that Zlatan was saying the man who made him to leave Barcelona, it wasn't Messi, as it's made to believe. He says it was Guardiola. There was a rumor that Messi was the reason, but that was nonsense. I never saw him interfere in the affairs of who should stay, who would leave. Even before I left, he was angry with Guardiola. I did not speak, he was angry with Guardiola, did not speak to him in training. When I said goodbye to him, he said to me, we need you a lot. I don't know why you left. I'm upset. That's what Messi said to Zlatan. He took me home in his car and told me Barcelona is always your city. Will welcome you at any time. He called me afterwards and said, where will you play? I told him Milan. He said, Zlatan is back in the Italian league now. You are the best there, I told him. You are the best. I told him. That was Zlatan telling Messi. And then he went further to say, you are the best ever. So that's what I wanted to share. Once again, let me apologize for that inconvenience of this the light falling off. Okay, I didn't expect that. Now, Tebas, we know that Tebas is the president of La Liga, and then we sometimes believe that Tebas was responsible for Messi to leave La Liga to French League, now in Inter Miami, because he was requested many times to waive the restrictions as far as the fair play is concerned, but he was not prepared. But this is what he says when they ask him, the best player to ever play in La Liga. He said, no one else except Lionel Messi. Remember, Ronaldo was playing here, so I just want to remind you that. And then they asked him the best player ever in history. He said, Lionel Messi again. Well, it's life. It goes that way sometimes. And then, but hopefully, he has realized that here it was the biggest mistake. And remember, even Barcelona, I think they realized now that the mistake was done. Ask Neymar. Neymar will tell you that, PSG, they became more famous and more richer by the presence of Messi. Go and ask David Beckham what's happening at Inter Miami. He will tell you what's happening. So that's it. That's my show for this morning. And then again, before I leave, let me remind you, all the time, whenever I go to radio, when I come back, people want to talk to me one-on-one, and then want to understand how business work, how to build business, how to do this and that. So I'm prepared to mentor those people who want to be mentored, okay? So if you want me to mentor you, very simple, drop us a WhatsApp. You'll see the WhatsApp number at the end of the show. Drop us a WhatsApp number. We'll therefore call you, and then we'll tell you how are we going to do it. Hopefully, you found this to be very informative. I think, and I thank all those people who subscribe, because I can see the subscription is going up, and then the people are commenting, people are watching the shows. Thank you so much, much appreciated. And then let's continue, and then share this video with other people. Okay, I thank you.
Else. Ooh. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. How you like my new coupe? Big body, put that thing on new shoes. Then I let the roof loose. It make all my enemies gotta choose. Whoa. How you like my new coupe? Big body, put that thing on new shoes. Whoa. Then I let the roof loose. It make all my enemies gotta choose. Whoa. Record exec. I'm the guy out here that's cutting checks. Woo. Check yourself. Another man's riches ain't your wealth. Whoa. And I'm doing well. I got all my double C's all up in Chanel. Big body trying to get the thing to parallel. Louis V, only time the boy take the L. Heavy on the scale. Dope boy. Ooh, I'm such a dope boy. Whoa. Can't dumb me down. I seen the standard change ever since I've been around. I heard them boys talking when I'm there, not a sound. I had to cut the throats, making sure I dig them down. Man, I dig them down, put them in the dirt. They try to put me down, but they put me in the mud. Cameras in the shit when the boy hit reverse, but I ain't going back. Dope boy. Ooh, I'm such a dope boy. Whoa. Dope boy. How you like my new coupe? Big body, put that thing on new shoes. Then I let the roof loose. It make all my enemies gotta choose. Whoa. How you like my new coupe? Big body, put that thing on new shoes. Whoa. Then I let the roof loose. It make all my enemies gotta choose. Whoa. Man, we buy it out at your own risk if you ever try it out. Hope you don't exceed. I got all my dogs, man, we on a different breed. If we ever want it, man, that thing becomes a need. Thinking on my feet, but I'm never on my knees. Shipping everything, I get my shit from overseas. Blue face nose like a nigga moving keys. They don't know your name, man, you wanna lease your keys. Dope boy. Ooh, I'm such a dope boy. Whoa. Dope boy. Ooh, I'm such a dope boy. Whoa. I gotta stay paid. Man, we never watching, but we know they up by face. Gotta feed them all, man, there's so much on my plate. No matter what the phase, man, we never ever phased. Never ever phased. How you like my new coupe? Big body, put that thing on new shoes. Then I let the roof loose. It make all my enemies gotta choose. Whoa. How you like my new coupe? Big body, put that thing on new shoes. Whoa. Then I let the roof loose. It make all my enemies gotta choose. Whoa. Damn, Ricky. Look at what you did. Notorious. I gotta go big. Oh, Bob the Builder. Yeah, I gotta fix the shit. Hey Matilda, I know you like the shit. You like my movie. Oh, I'm about to flip the script.